All right, good people. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Now, I want to talk a little bit about AEW Fight Forever and a couple other things. Now, before I even start talking on this video, let me just say this. If you hate AEW, you don't like AEW Fight Forever, then just skip past this video because it's not for you. Okay, I don't do bashing videos and I have no interest in reading stupid comments. So just keep the dumb comments to yourself, okay? Simple. If you see something titled AEW, I don't care if it's Dynamite, if it's Rampage, if it's Collision, if it's Fight Forever, I don't care what it is. If you don't like it, why waste your time and comment? Like seriously, it just makes no sense, okay? Only thing I'm gonna do is block and delete people that leave stupid comments. All right, simple. I'm not here for that nonsense. We're grown adults. Carry yourself as a grown adult. Now, one of the first things I want to talk about. Now, I play different games. This one, this in Fight Night Champions, I play more than anything else that I have. And I have tons, like really tons of games, all right? I have way too many that I'm even able to play. Now, and as far as wrestling games are concerned as well, this one I like more than all the other ones I have. Okay, all the 2K games and everything else. Now, for me, I want to say, for one, I love the button configuration. This is one of the things that, like me, I catch on to things, and I'm not above reading the tutorials to find out what's going on. I mean, you want to know what you're doing, right? Okay, but I like the fact that I can, if I don't play this for a while, once I get back on, it's right there. It comes right back. Okay. Now that is a downside when you have a game where you have to go back into it and you get rusty. You gotta get back into it, and it's like okay. With 2K, that's the one thing I don't like. The control schemes. Even when you like reversing, where you got and if you watch, you notice most people, if you can turn it off, they don't. You have to wait to see the A or the B button or X button or whatever, whichever button to reverse or block a strike or a counter or whatever. It's like or grapple, and to like have to sit there and wait to see an icon pop up. It's like I like to be able to just time it, watching what the opponent is doing. That's what I do on here. So there's times you're going to be able to reverse, there's times you're not. Okay, not because the game is screwing up, but just because of your timing. I prefer that over having to watch a button to determine whether I'm going, what to do next. I never liked that about any game when they do that. I understand why they do it like that sometimes, but certain games, it's like, okay, especially a game like this where it's intense and I'm looking to counter you, you're looking to counter me, I'm looking to counter your counter, you want to counter my counter. I don't like combination systems on a wrestling game. I just don't. Now, a combination system as far as you just pressing the button simultaneously, even if the game is considered a simulation, right? Guess what? You're still in a position of doing what? You're in a position of playing it as if it's an arcade style game. Okay. Now that's one of the things that I notice about most people. If you watch people, like when I would play this game right here online, most people are really not good at the game itself in terms of skill wise. They just smother you. They stand over you. They wait for you. Like as you're getting up, just quick grab. They stay on top of you. Okay. And it's one of those things where you have some people like they don't care about playing the game in a way where it's fun. They're just trying to win. You can't fault them because that's just what they do. But it does take away from the game. Okay, the fun of the game. And that's with any game. That's one of the reasons why, like, I used to play Knockout Kings. And one of the things that turned me off about Knockout Kings was, honestly, you could just jock the buttons. People didn't even know what they were doing. They were just mashing buttons real fast. So all a person had to do was just have faster fingers, all right? But how to block, slip, move, they didn't care about all of that. They basically just, played the game, like I said, just mashing buttons, and there's no real skill. Now, when Fight Night Champions come along, that style didn't work for them. Because now you have a game where your fighter will get tired, you'll drain your energy. So you have to be strategic. They're not good at those type of games. Those guys with that type of mentality. Okay. Now, let me leave it here on Bruno for a minute because I want to show you guys something. Now, what happens with the button system is, if I have to wait for, and I'm not telling you when the icons come up, so it's telling you what to do. That's cool, because when you're a beginner, you need that. Okay, but also not only that, you don't always know when you're able to do your finisher. So that's not really what I'm talking about, because when you see it, you know what it is. Okay, now, but bottom line is, and we all can adjust to it. Like I said, the problem is when you get away from the game and get back to it, it takes a while for it to come back. Whereas with this, it just comes right back. Now, that's just a preference. Another thing is, okay, because of this game coming out when it did, people were getting impatient and they were saying, man, we really want this game. What's happening? What's taking so long? Now, you can go, I don't care whose video it is, you can go to any video, any channel, and they were starting to get impatient with the game. They wanted this game so bad, and people was talking so great about this game when it first came out. And then little by little, the hate started to come in. Oh, it doesn't have the game modes, and they promised us this and this. And once again, no, they didn't promise you any of those things. This was content creators promising you, saying that this was going to happen, and this is what I believe is going to happen. And I went on their Discord and blah, blah, blah. And I'm, one of those things. And you guys are listening to those guys talk. Okay, and that's just what was happening factually. It wasn't AEW saying we're going to give you a cage match. Even though I want the cage match, I want all of those things that I said. And like I told you guys, I agree with all of you about wanting the different modes. Now, I do not want them, and they won't, to try to copy. Okay, well, if WWE gave it, then we'll give it, in terms of matches that they've never had, but the WWE has had those type of matches. Like, for example, if we've never had a casket match. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have one, even though I believe they did have one, but it doesn't mean that you can't, okay? But what I'm saying is, I don't want to ever, like I said, feel like I'm playing 2K when I'm playing this, or vice versa. Now, I'm not focused so much on what they don't have right now. Okay, I've always been the type of person, I've been taught, focus on what you can control, not what you can't control. Now, for me, I'm focused on the things that they have that I like. I like the game. I love the game. Now, do I want to see more content? Yes. They said there's more content coming. As we can see, there is. People, this is a game that they're going to build and build and build. It's not an annual game, so they know we have no reason to go and jump into a second game. And every time I see a channel where someone tells you this, I'm like, these people have no idea what they're talking about, and they'd suck if they speak as if they are if they are game developers, and they're not. Okay, you're a content creator who sit there arrogantly, smug, talking about what you do and what they should do, as if you don't even understand the process. Okay, also, you guys complain about when they charge you for something, as if, who the hell you think wants to work for free? If you were in that position, you wouldn't want Tony Khan or anybody coming to you saying, hey, listen, we need you to keep coming up with this stuff, and hey, we're not paying you. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody wants to work for free. And the money, okay, that this game is making, they're still giving you content, but people are still complaining. Listen, if they gave you every single match type or whatever you're asking for, you guys still wouldn't be happy. There's people that still would not be happy. Okay? There would still be, oh, well, and listen, if you don't like AEW, like I said, don't leave stupid comments. I don't care about what your hatred for the game, your childish, ignorant rants. I don't care about it. What I'm saying, okay, to the people that do like this game, okay, and bottom line, we have the right to speak. I'm the content creator, so I'm speaking on what I like. Okay, I don't want to hear a bunch of negative nonsense. But what I'm saying is, these people still would not be happy, and they would still make videos complaining. Well, they gave it to us, but they didn't do this. Well, they should have. It's always going to be a complaint. It's like, a lot of these people remind me of these women that they know how much money a man make a year. They know what he does for a living. They know everything about this guy. Somehow when they get married, And the guy might have even been saying, you think you're ready for marriage right now? Or, yes, please, we need to do this. Yes, I want to be with you, blah, blah, blah. And what happens? All of a sudden now you need to make more money. You need a bigger house. We need more vehicles. We need this. It's never enough. It's always going to be want. Okay. Example of something, okay? As you guys know, I filled up every single slot. I already showed you all my created wrestlers and all, so you guys know. Okay, I've done all of that. Now, if you haven't, that's your choice, your decision. So when you're saying, oh, there's not enough wrestlers, and that's not, look, they give you things on this game to do. They give you daily challenges, weekly challenges. They give you all this stuff. But in terms of the created wrestlers, the created rings, arenas, you have that in your power to do. You're sitting back complaining about not enough match types and this and that, like as if tomorrow you're going to snap your fingers, click your heels, and guess what? The match types are there. It's a process. Grow up. Like, seriously, grow the fuck up. All right. In the meantime, while you're sitting there like little children, panting and poking out your bottom lip mad because they didn't give you this and that. Okay, it's coming. What's coming exactly? I don't know. I don't work for AEW. I don't work for AEW games. I don't know. I just know what you know is what I know. The content creators that are lying to you are the ones that keep telling you what they want the game to do, and then they speak as if it is. Now, let me give you an example. We have not heard any details about a season 5. Okay, so I can't tell you who's coming. Now, me personally saying, we got Joe, Edge, and Jay White. Now, I don't know if they're going to go 3 females, 2 females, 1 guy, 2 guys, 1 female. I don't know what they're going to do, okay? 3 more males, I don't know. But looking at the way things are going, I would think in the next DLC, Okada, Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné, I don't know if that would be the 3. But that would be a hell of a 3. And I believe if there are 3 more, that one of them at least would be in it. Now, in terms of the match types, we know that we have the tournament mode that's coming with Jay White. But what else they're going to add, we'll just have to see. And this is for those who play the game, who like the game. Like I said, I don't want to hear nothing about, but I don't this and I hate that. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Now, another thing that I was thinking, and I don't know if AEW is thinking this way, right? This is just me. Once again, this is just me. But they've had the Rock and Roll Express, or at least one of them. I know Ricky Morton. I remember seeing his face. I don't remember if Robert Gibson was there, but I remember him being on an episode of Dynamite. We've had Ricky Steamboat on a couple episodes of Dynamite. We've had, Tully Blanchard was there, Arn Anderson was there, Jake the Snake Roberts. Now, somewhere down the line, they could even give us their own Legends pack because these guys have been there. Now, once again, this is just me. So I'm not telling you this and then you guys are like, oh, they're going to... No, I don't know this. But it would be really cool if they did that. And they also gave us, let's say, the older version of them and a younger version of them. That would be real cool if they did that. Now, we already have Sting. What if they gave us Crow Sting? What if they gave us Surfer Sting? That would also be a cool touch. Okay, but once again, and listen, they could actually do that. It's if they're thinking of doing that. I don't know, but so I'm saying there's possibilities of things that they can do. Okay, but I'm not going to tell you this is what they're doing or what I heard because I didn't hear any of that. And I'm telling you guys, these content creators are nothing but a bunch of toxic, foul, evil-hearted people because they sit up and spew this nonsense over. It's just like, for example, right? Now, someone asked me, like I created an arena. The arena that I created, right? You know what? I'll get back to this. Let me just start a match while I'm talking. The arena I created, I called it like AEW Beach Battle or something to that effect. Okay. Someone made a comment about how come the water doesn't move. I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. And I said, what do you mean? And he's saying the water doesn't even move. And like, why is the ring full of sand? And I'm like, okay, so what is this person like? What are you trying to get at? Okay, here's exactly what this person was told. This person was told that, and I watched the channel of the person that said it, and the person that, yeah, he did say that. Now, again, this is a person though that's in favor, okay, of AEW Fight Forever, but they gave you some false information, which he said you can use the fire and have the fire, the ramp on fire as you come into the ring or around the ring, and no, you can't. Okay, the game doesn't do that. Now, let's say they end up doing that later at some point, okay, fine. But as of now, no, you can't. That's false. Now, this person who asked obviously doesn't have the game. There is a board where you're actually on the beach. And I can tell you, yes, I have it. I have all 4 season passes, and I have it, yes. When you're in the water splashes, the water moves. Okay, the water, you can actually, like when you're in the water, the deeper you go into it, yeah. When you get slammed down, you can see like how the water covers the majority of your body and things of that nature, yes. And when you walk on the sand, it's not as easy to walk on the sand as it is as in the ring. Now, another thing is, even if you like something, it's good to do your homework on something where, anybody can make a mistake. But I can tell you the guy was assuming, and he was wrong. Okay. And the funny thing is, it's something that he said in his video that I learned from him. Okay, and I didn't really watch all of his videos and things like that, but I was watching some of the things he was doing, and he had some points. Now, he also said in his video how he was talking about how you can make the your 5 slots for your created wrestlers, and it's that if you go to duplicate, right, you can create more, another 5 slots, right? Okay. Now the thing is, when he said that, I'm thinking it's like you can do it and create like extra space, like somehow it's there was extra space, and I said, okay, let me see that. Now, I already knew you could duplicate, so what I was thinking, I wasn't completely sure. I wasn't aware of making another 5. So in other words, if you have 5 slots for created wrestlers, now you have 10. I don't need 10 for damn sure. 5 is plenty. 5 is enough. Okay. Now what he didn't explain, okay, and he doesn't have 100 wrestlers because he said in his video that he has like 3 created wrestlers or something like that. If you already have all 100 slots filled up, no, you can't duplicate. Okay, so what ends up happening is, if you already have it filled, then those slots basically you can't do it. You have to delete someone. So that's only if you're willing to delete someone. So let me put that out there. So for people that's not aware. Now, another thing is, and by the way, this he's pretty weird. I wasn't aware. Like I said, I just saw his channel like last week, so I never really knew of him. But he liked the game, and I'm like, okay, cool. Somebody speaking positive about the game. But he's a bit weird. He's a bit weird. But anyway, what the guy was saying, it was misinformation. Okay, and the problem with things like that is, when you say things and you're not sure, people go back and they repeat what you say. And then what you're saying, they think is like 100% true. Not realizing that, no, you can't. I've never even seen people like switch the camera angles like I'm doing now. I don't even think people even know that you can, right? Well, all these little details that they make a big deal about other games that can do certain things, right? But anyway, he wasn't 100% accurate with what he was saying. Now, this all being said, let me talk about customization. And this is something that I wanted to point out before, but I'm going to do it now. I think that it's beautiful that you can customize the arenas, how you can do it on 2K. You can do, it's more depth to it, right? At the same time, that is extremely time consuming. Okay. I had three arenas. I had 4 arenas, and not 3, I had 4 for WCW that I created on my own. I had 4 for AEWA that I created on my own. Okay, I had 4 for the NWA that I created on my own. Now, I wasn't so much concerned about creating AEW because I already have an AEW game. So I just felt like it just wasn't necessary. Okay, my choice. Now, for every company, for every different brand, I would have, like a male singles title or a subtitle, whatever, like 3-4 titles for the males, 3-4 titles for the females, tag titles. Now, I took the time to create all these belts, all these arenas, all these wrestlers, right? I spent more time creating wrestlers than I did downloading from the community. So this was very time consuming. A lot of people would rather someone do the work for them. Now, for me, I like variety, and I like to have like a different roster. I don't want to, have 23 and 22, and I have the same exact roster. Now, the thing is, that took so much time. And one of the problems that I have with 2K, anybody and everything that I'm about to tell you, I've had many, many people tell me the same thing, and I saw these same complaints in comment sections. One thing about 2K is when you're creating content, you're creating a wrestler or an arena or anything, it has a tendency to shut off. So now you've done all of this just to lose everything. Now you're either going to start over or just say, what, the hell with it. And I got to the point where I said the hell with it. It happened far too many times. So what you find yourself doing is having to save things. Like you get that scary feeling like, okay, you know what? I'm at the halfway mark. Let me save it and go back into it. So if it cut off, I at least got half of it saved. And that became so annoying because it just happened so many times. I'm creating a brand new title, a wrestler or whatever, and then all of a sudden now I got to start over because the game just shuts off. Okay. Another thing is, for some stupid reason, and I made this clear in a previous video, you can turn on your game and all of a sudden all your data is just gone. All of the stuff the stuff that you purchased and everything will be the only things that's there. But everything that you unlocked or created, gone. Gone. So with that being said, now, just because the game comes out annually doesn't mean that I have to buy it. It absolutely does not mean that. So here's my thing for people. Now, if you like 2K and you want to buy 2K every year, hey, that's more power to you. And for the record, if AEW made an annual game, I would not be buying it every single year. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. For one, it's too time consuming. I've done all of this creating wrestlers, creating titles, creating like everything, just to have to do it over again next year. 2, I'm not getting a brand new game. All I'm getting is the same game with a few tweaks. A few different people added to the roster when you can just do this. Madden can do this. 2K basketball can do this. You do not need a new game every single year because all you're getting is some stuff that really, I don't really care. Like, people, but on 2K, you could buy an apartment and you can customize an apartment and you can, okay, you might care about that feature, but I don't. That's not going to make me play this game. You understand? So that is like, okay, this isn't The Sims. This isn't one of those cooking games, like I have a cooking game. Yeah, I play a whole, like I said, other stuff that I play where you can like fix up your house and sell it to get more money. You can fix up your restaurant and all this kind of stuff. Great. Those games need something like that because, it gives you something other than just, the cooking, and you can like expand your restaurant and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm that stuff is cool to me. Okay. But with what I'm saying, you guys that are saying, just think about how many people are saying for Ultra Pro Wrestling, the Wrestling Code, Ultra Violence, Take your time with this game, y'all. The reason they're telling you that is simply because they saw AEW finally put the game out after people were getting so impatient. And then they went from praising the game to saying, oh, the game is lacking content. That just goes to show you, for all of the things that you want from this game, and even though it's an arcade game and not a simulation game, the game is that fun. And basically, if they added all that, it would be that much more fun. And I agree. But it goes to show you, this game, if they waited, this game still would not have all the things that you guys are complaining about. The reason is they already had their own ideas and agenda of what they wanted to do. So for what you're asking for, now, yes, they could have easily, like I said, the things that they put in the game already in Road to the Elite, yes, they could have unlocked that. But they wasn't thinking that way. And this is what you guys are overlooking. They was not thinking that way. You were. I didn't look. You don't know what you're going to get until after you get it. But let me explain something to you. The reason I would not buy an annual game is because they're not perfecting anything. Do you understand? All of that time that these people are putting into making another game, they're focused on storyline. That's what you're getting new, a different storyline. Okay, you're getting it. So if the storyline is enough for you, so be it. But they're not really giving you anything that they're perfecting. The game is the same, with a few tweaks, a few added people. And then, like I said, there's people who, for example, I got so discouraged with like creating wrestlers all over again because it's like, man, I'm not doing this all over again. Like it's too much time. You know how you get that feeling, that cringe feeling, the thought of doing something all over again. Like it was just too much. I said, no, not doing it. Now, with all that being said, AEW, Ultra Pro Wrestling, none of these other companies are giving you an annual wrestling game, which means no matter how much time it takes for them to finally put a game out and say, okay, now let's say you're more satisfied with the game from its inception versus this one. Okay, but through time, they're still going to add content. And like I told you guys, now AEW has the time to constantly just keep building their game. So before you know it, it's like they've caught up with what everybody else has already added to their game. But they're going to all have their own twist on the game. It's not going to be what you fantasize about. So what I'm saying, if it took, 5-6 years for these games to finally, this is like more than half of a fucking decade. Okay, 6 fucking years. 5 years is half of a decade. It's taking these 5-6 years. Okay, 6 damn years for a game to finally come out is more than half of a fucking decade. So, for them to come up with their second game, no, it's not that it's going to take another 5 or 6 years. They're going to give you the same engine, the same game with just a few tweaks. Do you understand? So, if you look at it, you're going to be in a position where the same thing. Okay, I'm buying a new Madden every year. I'm buying a new 2K every year. Basketball. I'm buying a 2K WWE every year. When the fuck do you guys have time, that much time to play all of these games? And after creating so much content, no, it's like, no, I don't have it in me to do this all over again. So with all of that being said, people, it's one of these things where truthfully, I look at it and I say, all right, to perfect a game, it takes time. Therefore, when you put out a second game, you know what you should be getting? A completely different game. You guys are not complaining about that. Well, they are. People are complaining about it. It's like I said, it's just when AEW comes up, that's when people try to pretend like, we don't remember all of these complaints that they have that WWE is giving you the same game over and over. But just like with Madden, people keep spending their money. So I would not buy an AEW game annually. Any I don't care what company it is. So I'm not, you guys can rah WWE all you want. No, that's you guys. I'm not wasting my money Okay, and a lot of times when I look at it, I've wasted a lot of money on things because I don't have the time. So I paid for it and I don't even have the time to play it. Now, with that being said, let me say this. If these companies were understanding, and you know what, we can just keep sending updates. And that's what they should do. We'll send updates to new arenas, new wrestlers, new gimmicks, and all of this kind of stuff. Different, clothing, move changes, all this kind of stuff. Now, when we have an idea for a brand new game that's going to be different from the one that they already have, right? Then that's a lot better. And now the people will be looking forward to the game even more. Why? Because now they're expecting something completely different, as opposed to just giving us a game every single year, but you're not really giving us something that's a new experience. And you can't do this every single year. You just can't. It's too much. Way too much work and too much content. So for the games that's taking a longer time to come out because they're trying to develop the game and perfect it as much as they possibly can, that's fine. That's all fine. And what you guys need to understand about that is the reason that these games are taking so long, it's not just because, it's not like people, it's a budget thing. No, it's not so much just a budget thing. It's because they're trying to get it right, but they know they don't have access. Look, the WWE, look at any other wrestling promotion. AEW is the only one that have as many events a year. Okay, well, Impact has, their events and all, but I mean, like, in terms of concept matches and different things of that nature, you don't really see too much different things coming from most of these other companies. So what I'm saying is, yes, aside from WWE, there's AEW. And this is why I'm saying AEW, they definitely should add all of their match types and everything into their game. Pause. Okay, but these other companies, the things that you're complaining about, other companies understand. Do you understand? They understand it. So they know, okay, there'll be no King of the Ring. There'll be no Royal Rumble. Now, not to say they won't have tag eliminations, which is pretty much what the Survivor Series is. Okay? Not to say that they won't have their own Battle Royal, which is what a Royal Rumble is. Okay? Not to say they won't have cage matches. I don't know. Okay? I don't know all the different match types. I quit matches. Last man standing matches, tag tornado. I don't know all the different things they're going to put in. But in terms of events and everything, all these, ambulance matches, coffin matches, like all this other stuff, I don't know what they're going to have. Okay, but they know for them to put enough content in their game to satisfy the wrestling fan, okay, the problem is the WWE wrestling fans. That's going to sit here and that's what they do. The first thing they want to do is look at custom creations. Can we create the Usos? Can we create Becky Lynch? Can we create, all these other, Seth Rollins? That's one of the first things that they're going to look at. Okay, then they look at the depth of what happens now, of what the game presents. So let's just say, for example, if the WWE has, just say, 20 match types, and the next game has 10, 15, oh man, they don't have this on there, they don't have that on there, they don't have this. This is exactly what's going to happen. So what these people are able to do is what they're going to do. In terms of satisfying everybody, they can't. It's simple. You can't, because it's always going to be, I want more. Give me more. That's exactly what's going to happen. And that's for any other game. Now, as for Ultra Violence, I'm not even sure that I'm interested in that game. Not Ultra Pro Wrestling, but Ultra Violence. The reason I'm not sure is because Ultra Violence, one thing that I didn't see at any point in time was different match types. I didn't see any real depth in their creations. All I saw was, if for you that haven't seen it, okay, and I'm not here to bash the game. I'm saying that game is based on you being thrown off of really high platforms, crashing through several tables and stuff like that. It's like a stuntman destructive type game. Okay. What I didn't see was a focus on good solid wrestling matches. Like that seems secondary. And I don't hear anything about this game at all. There's no new footage. Not months ago, not everything is from like last couple of years, last year or two. Nothing. There's no new footage of that game. I don't see a game like that lasting. Why? Simply because if you want an actual wrestling game, okay, where you can have those type of matches and you go, wow, that was a good match. And you know, how many times have you watched a video game match and said, man, this is more fun than the actual real wrestling, right? I don't think you're going to get that from Ultra Violence. So I don't see, like, all these different match types we keep talking about. I've seen nothing. And the only footage that I've seen of Ultra Violence was, like I said, you being thrown through tables and all, and that's pretty much what the concept is. That's basically what the cash grab is for this game. Let's get extreme with all this crazy stuff. And so I don't really see, and for one, how are you going to have a tag match when, what are you going to do, split screen? Because if one or two guys have climbed all the way to the top of a particular structure and you guys are in the ring, how's that going to work? Are they going to give you a view where you're like so tiny you can't really see what's going on? You know, so you got to think like that. I don't see this game succeeding with the way they laid it out. Now, if you like stuff like WrestleQuest, it's a wrestling game / RPG, then hey. But this is what I'm saying. I don't hear anybody talking about WrestleQuest. There's videos on it. I've seen, video, or one guy at least I saw playing it. Okay. I don't know about Ultra Violence. They're gonna have to give me something different, because it doesn't feel like it's a wrestling game to me. Now, for me to buy this game, if it ever comes out, which I won't, based on what it is already, I have no interest in it. They'd have to give me something more than that. My point is, I would not buy this game knowing ahead of time what it is, then get mad at myself and say they should put this and put that. It is what it is. Okay, casual pro wrestling is a game where if you watch and seen videos of this game, then you know that this is not a game that's about, I'll actually pull it up for you guys, okay? But it's not a game that's based on, hey, this is some good wrestling, this is a fun game. This is just some silly stuff to me. It's just silly. And also, when a wrestling game comes out on Steam, but it doesn't really make it to the consoles, then that is another thing. Now, don't get me wrong, because Fire Pro Wrestling, I always love Fire Pro. Okay, but most of these other games, like, they're not really that good. And this is why they don't make it to all the platforms. The criticism that people come up with, like I said, is all based on whatever happens on 2K. It's no different from watching pro wrestling on TV. Whatever the WWE does, everybody's mindset is that that's what the other companies should be doing. And that's all it comes down to. Oh, I think, what's this guy's name? Dutch Mandel, or Dutch, him, Mandel, or Mantel, how do you say his name? Him, Eric Bischoff, all of these guys, if you listen to them, they're so critical of everything that AEW does. Because it's like, well, if you look at the YouTube algorithms, the majority of the videos coming out, people are showing hate. Well, that's what we're going to do. Let's not forget, okay, Eric Bischoff is the same guy that wrote a book called Controversy Creates Cash. So we already know Eric Bischoff is just riding this wave of, okay, as many people that don't like Eric Bischoff. It's not because they like him. It's because they hate AEW. The ones that's attracted to his channel. This is just what people are. They're just miserable. That's all they are. They're miserable. And so what they do is they agree with what he's saying, and they only like him for that. Do you understand? That's the only thing. So he's just riding this wave of AEW. If Tony Khan offered this man a job and paying him a good salary, you think he wouldn't take it? Of course he would. Now, the thing about him, I remember him being asked a question about would he go back to the WWE if they asked him, and he said he's not sure. He said because he doesn't know if he have anything to offer the business that's different from what he's already done. Do you understand? So this is the thing. For him to say that, isn't it funny that he always has some criticism about Tony Khan as if he could do better? How old is AEW? 4 or 5 years old, and look at the position that they're in. And I think everybody overlooks that. How long was the WCW around before they finally got to that position, right? And think about it. Even when it got to that position, there was so much going on where WCW was in the same position. No matter what they did, everybody wanted to compare what they was doing to the WWE. Now, when the NWO came along, that's when it was a whole different ball game. But, we know how things went. And also, Eric Bischoff watched Vince McMahon take a fake storyline. We conquered WCW. And take that and make it into an actual storyline, knowing that's not what actually happened. Now, isn't it funny that the same network that didn't want wrestling back then and didn't want WCW because they didn't want a wrestling show, now all of a sudden, guess where they are? Wrestling is back on TNT, TBS. Okay, it's always this is hypocrites. Vince Russo, of all people, are taking shots at Tony Khan. Vince Russo never admits to him doing anything that was low quality. Everything he did was high quality, right? But he's so critical of why. He's taking advantage and doing the same thing that people did towards him. Tony Khan says anything. Oh, Tony Khan's lost his mind. Tony Khan this, Tony Khan that. You know what's funny? Remember the remark Tony Khan made about, what's the guy's name? I forget his name. I don't remember. Is he Indian? Is he Arabian? I forget the guy's name. The guy that comes with the turban on his head. He comes out and he made a comment about him not being used properly and when's the last time he did anything? Everybody was, I can't believe he'd say something like that. But when you look at it, was Tony Khan lying? When is the last time that they done anything with this guy? And the fans just don't like the guy. It doesn't make a difference. You know who I'm talking about. I forget his name. He came out when The Rock came back a couple of months ago before the heel turn, and The Rock slapped him around the ring for a little bit. But bottom line is, I forget his name. That's how irrelevant he is. Nobody really likes this guy. They don't want him as champion. They don't even care if they see him wrestle or not. Okay, so everything Tony Khan says, it's a problem. Triple H, anybody from the WWE can take a shot at AEW. It's perfectly fine. It's okay. Vince McMahon, look at what he's going through. But he no longer works for yeah, exactly, because he was a shit stain to the company. But the things that we heard about Vince had been going on for years. So while you guys are comparing him to TNA and knocking Eric Bischoff when he was in TNA, knocking Dixie Carter, right? All of these things that people were saying, yeah, all this scandalous stuff was happening behind the scenes, but everybody's bowing to Vince McMahon. Do you understand the point what I'm getting at? Is every time people put someone on some pedestal and praise them, you always have a lot of people on the other side they have what you have. Personally, they have the mind that you have or even smarter. They don't have the team around them. They don't have the money to spend like you do. Things of that nature. So, it's like a football coach. If the team wins, he's the greatest coach in the NFL. If the team loses, he's the suckiest coach in the NFL. So, you don't credit the players. You understand what I mean? They have to go out and carry out what the plays are. They have to be able to go out and deliver. And deliver. So, it's a team effort. Okay, and the same thing. Think about when Eric Bischoff came to TNA. He came there with who? Hulk Hogan, Hall, Nash, X-Pac. I mean, he came there, it was the same mindset of, you see, when people say Hulk Hogan killed WCW, people don't understand what happened as far as what really happened. Ratings-wise, WCW was still in the top 2, top 3 shows. You understand? They were still and from what I hear, they were still number 1 pretty much. But if a network doesn't want a particular product, right? The timing of it was this. The way it happened, let's get this company. We'll pay next to nothing for it. We'll own it. And remember the episode, the very last one, and Shane McMahon showed up. And I had that same cringe feeling this isn't going to be good. Why? Because even if Shane McMahon owned it, it's still a McMahon, and it's going to be the same formula that they used to run the WWE. And I remember reading something back then where it said that they was going to have a new WCW show that was going to air at 8 o'clock on Saturdays, and that never ever happened. Now you see that crappy WCW versus that WCW ECW invasion was such crap. Look at who they had. The most valuable people that they had was Booker T and Diamond Dallas Page. Buff Bagwell was on, I think, 1 or 2 episodes of Raw, and that was that. And they had like the Lance Storms, like the guys that were still trying to make a name for themselves in the business, was trying to become main eventers. They, and then on Team 3D side with them, and then with Rob Van Dam. But aside from that, look at how they treated all of them. They all got treated like crap. Every last one of them got treated like crap. And WCW, ECW, they treated the Dudleys and Van Dam much better than they treated anybody from WCW. Now, if you look at that, think about when Booker T was in the ring, and him and The Rock came back to back. They bumped into each other, and The Rock turns around and looks at him. Who in the blue hell are you? And the crowd is cheering and everything. Now, people don't understand the difference in that. The mindset is what? You're a nobody to me. Who are you? But The Rock says that to everybody. No, it's different for someone that's already in the WWE, that's trying to get built up, and he's making fun of them, and eventually they win, and and they become a star. No, this was a whole, let's try to bury WCW. I'm going somewhere with this, so stay with me. He does all of that. The Booker T's never beaten The Rock. At no point. Not in a tag match, not in a one-on-one. He's never beaten The Rock. Now, with all of that being said, right? Scott Steiner winds up coming. Goldberg winds up coming. Now, for people that think Eric Bischoff was a failure, do you think that Vince McMahon would hire him if he thought he was a failure? Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you guys are speaking, it's like WWE can do no wrong. Well, look at how Eric Bischoff went out. Eric Bischoff is a fucking black belt. Vince McMahon isn't a wrestler. He isn't a fighter. He's just an old man. Okay? At no point was he a fighter. And he dumps him he put him in a garbage can or something to that effect or whatever. Like, I mean, look, Eric Bischoff wasn't the boss and he was there. So he took orders and he did his job the way Vince asked him to do it. Even if it meant making a fool out of him. Look at what happens in the long run. The very guy, because there's been many interviews where you hear Eric Bischoff say, I'm better than Vince McMahon, but Vince had a team around him and he had, this and that. He was calling the shots. I wasn't. Look at what he's doing now. So people within the wrestling business are toxic as hell. They are the worst enemies to their own genre. So if you care, and I think a lot of the wrestlers that didn't make it the way they wanted to, they probably want the business to suffer and go away because they're like, hey, I got fucked over, so hell, why should I care about anybody else making it, right? So when you hear Dutch Mandel and these guys talking about, oh, I don't think Sasha Banks is as good as she thinks she is. She's not worth the money. Sasha Banks told why she chose AEW over WWE, okay? What made her look stupid, though, okay, and what made her look like what people are going, you know what, I don't know if she's even a good fit. Why? She did something that I really feel like is really just disloyal. She was interviewed and was asked about going back to the WWE. And she goes, oh, definitely, before it's all said. It's like, wow, wrong answer, Sasha. Mercedes Moné, wrong answer. I might have said this in a previous video, but I'm going to reiterate. And I said it, the only person that answered that right at one point in TNA was Kurt Angle. When they asked him about the WWE, and I remember him going, look, Impact is my home. I've been here in TNA 8 years now, whatever it was. He's like, and I'm not focusing on anything other than TNA. That's the right answer, man. If Vince or anybody want to do business with you, I don't care what you say. They understand, hey, man, this guy's holding it down for the company he's employed by. Okay, they want you to say, do you think Vince would be happy? How do you think Triple H or anybody would feel if they were being interviewed, right? A WWE wrestler's being interviewed, and that wrestler goes, okay, let's say Bianca Belair goes, you know what, I love it here in WWE, but listen, I'm looking at what they got going on over there at AEW, and I'm saying before my career is over, I want to go to AEW. Oh, they would flip. They would lose their shit, and you know that they would. So for every wrestler that says I want out of my contract for WWE, and they end up going to AEW, New Japan, Impact, or whatever, guess what? People don't make a big deal about that. Any wrestler that leaves AEW, they make such a huge deal. So when you say, I don't think Sasha Banks is as good as she thinks she is, I don't think she's worth the money. If she would have chose, that's the thing that people don't understand. It wasn't WWE telling her she wanted too much money. No, she chose AEW over WWE and she specified why. If she chose the WWE, do you understand? None of those guys talking bad about her would be saying anything bad about her. It's like, bottom line, when you're a content creator, you look at the algorithms, you look at the conversations and what's going on, you look at who's getting heat, who's getting love, or fake love, or however you want to say it, and then that's what they do. They choose the direction that favors what, this is what the majority is doing. And this is all that you see. Okay, Christian also answered that question right. Christian, I've heard that the WWE wants to induct you into the Hall of Fame. And I think that you should be inducted. What do you think about that? And he says, I don't really give a shit about a Hall of Fame. And when there really is one, let me know about it. Okay. Bottom line, that's how you answer. Imagine, for example, imagine if you're a New York Giants fan, for example, right? Whatever team you like, and that quarterback is asked, so how do you like it here in New York? What do you think about the scene and, how you fit in as a quarterback? And imagine that quarterback saying, well, you know what? I love playing here in New York and we, having a great time. But hey, man, look, the Dallas Cowboys is America's team. And before it's all said and done, I need to go back. I want to go to Dallas. I got to play for the Cowboys at some point. Just imagine all of these Giant fans hearing their quarterback saying that. They feel like, man, you know what? Get rid of him. Let his ass go. We don't even want him here. And that's what I'm saying. When Mercedes Moné was answering that question, she said it wrong. And I just think it's really disrespectful for a wrestler to say that. And, because, look, interviewers are going to ask stupid questions. Okay? But you're the one asking the stupid question, too. And the reality is like, hey, look, man, this is all business and we get it. But right here, right now, I'm in AEW. I chose this for a reason, and this is all I'm focused on. Hey, look, I'm here in Impact Wrestling. This is why I chose. I'm not thinking about the WWE. I'm not thinking about anywhere. I'm here. Hey, this is MLW. You understand? This is how you answer a question, okay? That's kind of like somebody asking your wife, and in front of your face, knowing you're going to see this, if you wasn't with such and such, who would you be with? And like a dumbass, she sits there, well, me and Brad was, oh God, I loved him, and we didn't have a bad breakup. I moved and he moved and, we just separated. But like, oh God, I was so in love with that guy. And if I wasn't with my husband, you lose your shit. And this is what I'm saying. There's no loyalty. Everything is, I have to answer this question. I'm compelled to answer this question. No, you're not. So my point is, all of these people from Eric Bischoff to the Vince Russo, all of them have had their ups and downs and their fair share of criticism. So they're just basically, like I said, riding the wave to try to get more likes and subscribers to what they're doing on their YouTube channels and podcasts. Look, do you guys remember an episode of Raw? And The Rock, Eric Bischoff had the cops come to remove The Rock. And then The Rock says, so let me get this straight. He goes, you take The Rock, the People's Champ, the biggest star in the WWE, right? And you want The Rock removed? He says, it's no wonder WCW failed. So you knew the whole time that Bischoff was going to be there. You were going to, that different wrestlers were going to take shots at him and blame him. And right. So we've heard it was Hogan's fault. It was Bischoff's fault. It's this guy. It's that guy. Once again, who did he roll in to TNA with? The same crew that was there when everything fell apart in WCW, right? So of all people, Eric Bischoff should be the last one to talk shit about where Tony Khan and AEW is right now. You understand this point, what I'm saying? And Vince Russo included. Dutch Mantel, any of them. They always talk about what the business needs and what it doesn't have. But when you guys were in these companies, what were you doing? Why didn't your star shine? And if Vince or whoever didn't see the value in you, right? So then you should know what Tony Khan is in the sense of he's running the show. I don't know exactly, how I know he says him, Jericho, Bryan Danielson, like, they go over different ideas and things. So I'm not going by anything that Eric Bischoff or anyone outside of the company who doesn't know how things are being run is going. I don't go by what they say. People create narratives based off hearsay. Now, with all that being said, right? All of this stuff is here for entertainment. How can you enjoy anything when all you do is complain about it? So here we are in the world of video games, and all we hear is, I hate this, I hate that, I can't stand this, I can't stand that. And like I told you guys, the reason that you hear all of that is because the people talking, what they really don't like are themselves. They have nothing going on in their lives where they feel like it's worth even like they can't find a smile. They have nothing to talk about. Everything that they talk about is what they don't like. Now, I'm just here for the long haul. And the reason, like the other couple of weeks ago, I posted a video of the words of Tony Khan, or well, basically someone working close with Tony Khan, and like him saying he's supporting this game for a very long time. This is not some, overnight project, like, let's see what it does and then on to the next. Like, no. So, that's all I'm focused on, y'all, is having fun. I'm enjoying the game, and that's all I do. I connect with people who are positive. I'm not here for this bullshit to hear people come here and rant about how they hate life, because that's pretty much what they're doing. Now, let me give you guys something real quick. Now, Dick the Bruiser is a wrestler from way back in the day, right? Now, pretty much this is what he wore. I've seen him with the black tights, the black, knee pads, the black and white boots. Okay? And he wore the short ones. Now, this is what I do, because this is pretty plain, right? So, this is how he looks. So I give him his traditional look, okay? In here and in here. And so this I just changed up. Right? I do this often because after a while it's like the more plain they look, you find yourself not using certain people, then it's like, you know what? I created this guy. Let me give myself a reason. So I spice it up. Now I change him, put him in that outfit. Then I switch him up and I put him in this outfit. Okay. This is fun to me. All right. And, see now, compare his old traditional look. And these are the things he wore. Now compare that to this. You understand? It's just a whole, it's like, wow, okay, like night and day. It's you can do this, okay? It's up to you. But this is what I do. Now, Bruno Sammartino, for example. And Dick the Bruiser was one that didn't wear knee pads. Bruno was the same way. Ivan Putski was another. They had a very basic way, like their clothing, blue tights, black boots, white socks. And it just, like I said, Bruno had the long, like curly, bushy type hair. Then there was times he had the short hair, he had the mustache. And so they had their different looks. Let me go into Bruno. So what I did with Bruno, I like I said, I give all of them a boost, man, because you want to see, you want to enjoy your game, and that's all it is. And you guys are all this, yeah, but to make it realistic, like, stop it. So okay, this is Bruno's traditional look: blue tights, black boots, white strings or black strings, white bottoms, whatever, all black boots. So that's pretty much no knee pads, no elbow pads. Okay. So here, I just, and it just feels different. It just looks different. So I'm probably going to keep Bruno with no knee pads or whatever. But just, spice it up, man. Okay, just change it up. Give him a different feel. Some more colors that pop versus just the solid, dark colors that, So stuff like that. These are things that I do. I'm not concerned about what everybody else is doing, man. This is your game to have fun and do what you want. I'm going to show you what I did with Misawa, Masahiro Misawa, also known as Tiger Mask. So, and also what I did is I made him, Tiger Mask and the Ultimate Warrior, I made them partners on here. And the crazy thing is, for some reason, I don't know why this happens, the Ultimate Warrior kicks ass Like if I fight with if I let the computer fights, he'll win 10 out of 8 matches. I mean, he'll lose 2 maybe. For some reason, every fight that I put him in on when I'm recording, he loses. Every time he loses. Okay. Now, Ivan Putski was another guy, but let me find Tiger Mask and I'll go back to him. Okay. Rick Rude, I put on it. You want to give these guys, man, like I said, like Seth Rollins, I gave him the black and yellow. It's just more fun for me. China. I put stuff on her that I saw her wear outside of wrestling as well. Actually, like the black and red, she used to wear. I remember her with the black tie. I remember when she was really solid before she slimmed down and everything. Okay, now let me show you something. Now, Blade Runner Rock, this is what he wore. This is when he was partners with Sting. Okay, simple. But I like that look. Only he had the box haircut. Okay, so I left him with 2 outfits like how he used to wear traditionally, right? And basically, now if I could, they won't let you do it on the game. I would give him the box haircut. Initially, that's what I did. So I made him Blade Runner Rock instead of the Ultimate Warrior. So what I did was I said, okay, let me mix now. Now, this is more Ultimate Warrior, like just say, and I switched him with this. So what I would do is I would give him the long hair. I wanted to make him also as the Dingo Warrior. Because as the Dingo Warrior, this is before the tassels on the boots and everything. So that's really who he looks like. Now, I could give him this look and give him this short haircut and go with Dingo. So I wanted to give him Blade Runner, Dingo, and Ultimate. They wouldn't let me, they won't let me, if they change that in the future, then I will. So yeah, I just kept him as, with the Dingo Warrior look / Ultimate Warrior look, but Blade Runner Rock. So, okay. Now, and these are things that I do. So if you sitting up here and have this game and you're not creating wrestlers, that's on you, man. But it's there. Now, I say that because if they had no create a wrestler mode, you'd be complaining about that too. Man, you can't even create wrestlers. Okay, they give it to you and you don't. Yeah, that's because the game sucks. Okay, well, guess what? Play 2K. That's the funny part about it. I'm like, are you playing these games or are you just sitting up here going from channel to channel complaining about people that don't? Because people are saying that they like this game. Wait, where is? There he is. Okay, so Mitsuharu Misawa. This is pretty much what he wore the majority of the times when he wasn't wearing a Tiger Mask outfit. So I got him in this way. Okay, now as Tiger Mask, the color schemes and everything are there. And I wanted him to be the only one. I don't want to have people wearing the same stuff and, whatever. But like, the stripe, well, a lot of people wore tights with a stripe. But so this is what I did with him. Okay. And over here, I just switched to where the pants is white with the green stripe instead of green with the white stripe. Then I just put them with the black with the green stripe. Pause. Okay, so these are things that we all can do. But when you just so focused on complaining, and so my thing is, and I know people say the same thing, like, yo, I didn't do my fashion thing or my universe or whatever. Right, and already you have the next game. Do you know, okay, I have 2K, I forgot which one I have for the Switch. I think I might have 22 on the Switch, and I think I got 21 on the Series X. Do you know I've never completed one season? I've never played and completed an actual season. So this is what I mean about people are just spoiled to where you don't think that you're wasting your money when you keep buying all these games and you can't complete them. So you understand what I'm saying to you? And you're doing this with an annual game. I am not doing this every single year. And especially if I haven't even unlocked everything and beat every mode. And so for what? Replay value means as long as I'm alive and I got strength in my body, I'll be sitting here as an old ass man if I can, playing AEW Fight Forever. You understand what I mean? It's not about oh, this is what's up. Okay, I'm only playing what everybody else is playing. I don't care what everybody else is playing. I don't care about, like, as far as even like online. I'll go play Stadium Stampede, whatever. I don't listen. I'm not focused on trying to fit in and trying to be a part of what everybody else is doing. Someone even said to me the other day, they said, man, you know what? He said, I've been playing the ambulance match. He said, but damn, man, like, I don't know. It's just something about the gameplay. It's like Wrestling Empire, for example, right? You always hear people say, oh yeah, wait, what did I do with Muay Thai? You always hear people say, you know what I love about Wrestling Empire? Yo, like, you could go outside. Yo, you can mingle. You can walk around and talk to other people. You can start fights with people. You can eat. You can rest. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the graveyard. Yo, you gotta go to the hospital. I'm like, okay. You want to know the thing is? They talk about everything that you can do on Wrestling Empire, right? They talk about everything except for what? The gameplay. Do you know why? Because the gameplay is not that good. Okay, so for Muay Thai, y'all remember I gave him this look. Like I said, I can't give him the gray beard, you know, the bald top. If they would let me, I would. So I got him here, and I got him with this look. Now, if you've been watching Muay Thai the past couple of years, I don't know if he actually retired yet, but he started wearing like colorful outfits with the mask. So I just switched up. So he has his old, you know, traditional look here. And then I switch him up here. And like I said, man, we here to have fun. We're not here with all this nonsense, you know, bitching about everything. No. Well, I'm bringing things to you guys' attention because it's like a lot of time people just they overthink stuff, and they're always like wanting to compare something, and they're not understanding, like, look, man, if you're not having fun with what you're doing, you're wasting your time. It's simple. You're wasting your time. And if that's what your goal is, let me just wake up every day and complain about what I don't like. Hey, man, more power to you. But it's sad that you suck. Like, seriously, you know. So yeah, I change a lot of people up, man, and give them a better look, a better feel, something more updated. And who knows? Maybe I'll put Bruno with the knee pads on or something or whatever. I don't know. But bottom line, that's what I mean. We can sit here and have fun and do these things, man. But you got these people who, you know, like I said, man, you can't sit up here talking to me about realistic stuff, and you're sitting up here playing 2K in Bowser's Dungeon. Or you sitting up here playing using Bart Simpson or Homer Simpson versus the Road Warriors. Like, I don't even want to hear you talking about, like, why? Okay, if the game being a simulation game is so great to you, why are you doing like silly arcade shit like that like silly stuff? Let's just say silly, because arcade doesn't mean silly, you know. But they use the term arcade versus it being a simulation, right? So why are you even doing that? Well, to be honest with you, I'll say we'll do one more match and then I'll call it quits on this video. But the truth is, when you listen to people talk, they're very influential, and this is why people get views and likes and subscribers, because people are believing in what they're saying, and they don't understand, like, they're just being so negative about everything, and it's like, what are you so bitter about? Let's go Dynamite Kid versus who? You know, I hear people talk, and like I said, I agree with a lot of the points that people make. But like when you get to the point where you're just complaining and just I don't want to hear that nonsense. At no point do I want to hear that. Could put him against Claudio. Who should I put him against? Dynamite Kid. You know what? I'll put him against Claudio. Yeah, I'll put him against Claudio. I could bring their, teammates out, but no, we just put him against Claudio. Let me tell you guys something too, and this is something that I wanted people to think about. When you are listening to content creators, right? Okay, don't let them fool you by telling you what they think, okay? If their video says confirmed, or all these parentheses and exclamation points, like they're so excited about something, and you think that you're about to hear some good news. If they start their sentence off with "could it be" or "is it possible," then you automatically know. Common sense, people. They are not telling you anything that's concrete. Okay? So, it is what it is. If you just want to have fun and you like to chill, that's what I do on this channel. But if you want to come here to rant and complain and show hate, then skip me, please. Go over to Kenny Baum or all these other channels that love to just complain about shit. Go to these guys. There's nothing more ridiculous than see a panel of grown-ass men sitting there with long faces like a video game has broken them. They're so disappointed. I'm so angry. I'm so mad, man. Grow the fuck up. You guys are so childish. I have to say it. Who cares about what you don't like? And this is what I always say to people. You keep bitching about what these games should do, what it should have, and how come it doesn't do this. Become a game developer. Start developing games. Go with all of your knowledge of games and go to THQ Nordic or whoever and whatever and put your skills in. Because you obviously know how to make games. You obviously know what goes into it. There's so many things that can happen and go wrong that can go right. But, even just with people. One guy we have on staff, he knows this, he knows that. All of a sudden, he's no longer there. Now we got to find a replacement. I mean, it's a lot of things that can happen. So, bottom line is, you guys, a lot of times they overthink things. They make all these, they're making excuses. They won't do this, they won't do, and it's like, do you have a fucking life? Do you have anything in your life to do other than just play games? Because it's like, God damn it, the anger, the hate, it's not changing anything. Now, enough of them. And let me say, I hope that when Ultra Pro comes out, that it's solid. I plan on buying the game. And I hope that the wrestling code is solid as well. What I don't really care for, truthfully, is like I said, and that's, I haven't heard anything new from them, so I don't even know where they stand with their game, and that's ultra violence. But yeah, I mean, anytime a game is coming out, man, I'm always like, why? I don't know. I get nothing out of wanting to see a game or a company fail. So I don't know where that behavior, I can't even relate to it. So yeah, I mean, customizing the arenas, all of these things, I like it more simplified, man. And I can deal with this because I can make these arenas and put things together quickly, and I can move on. But when it takes you a very long time to make these wrestlers and make the arenas and all of these things, it's just in making titles. I don't care listen, I don't need to be able to do all of those details on here or any other wrestling game for that matter. I don't care if I can't put logos and can't create my own titles. No, they have enough titles. How many fucking titles do we need? And if I can't create my own federation, what the hell do I need more belts for? Right? So I don't need all of that. That's the things that, and look, the things that you can do on 2K, right? 2K is the only game you can do those things on. And Fire Pro Wrestling, you can logos and all, at least with these mods and all that. But my whole thing is, truthfully, it's at some point, how many people can you make? How many arenas can you make? So if it's about, okay, now I'm going to delete him and create somebody new. Okay, I want to delete her and make a new person. I'm going to delete this ring. And, if you just feel like you want to change, cool, whatever. It's your game to do whatever you want with. But, my whole point is, when is your thirst ever quenched? If it's always, I need more, then you're never going to be satisfied. And until a game gets to the point where they're making a different game every so many years, where you're getting a different game, until that happens, I have no reason to keep purchasing an annual. I'm not doing an annual thing. I'm just not doing it. It's just a waste of money, and especially if the truth. Look, it doesn't matter what you say to me or anybody else. The truth is, I haven't even got halfway through what this game can do. I haven't even scratched the surface, but here I am buying another one, and then go through the same exact thing, right? Then, I don't see why you're complaining about money when you're the one buying an annual game. And I'm not stupid. I know damn well. Listen, a kid maybe can do it because a kid doesn't have a job. They don't have responsibilities other than doing schoolwork and maybe chores around the house, but they have all the time in the world. Whereas a grown adult does not have that kind of time. And I'm a grown adult and I do not have that kind of time. So for me to sit here and say, I have not even did whatever you can do in my fashion. I haven't completed nothing other than just going through story mode in 22. And once again, if I didn't tell you, the only reason that I bought 23 is because I was trying what I thought I was buying Harley Race as a bundle. I didn't even care about the other wrestlers that was in the bundle, to be honest with you. So it was $9.99, just say $10. So I spent like $30 for 3 different bundles. And one had the Steiner Brothers. And I think the other one had the Boogeyman. I forgot who else was in there. But I come to find out, when I looked, I said, oh shit. Why? Because it's the same color as the 22 version. So I'm thinking I'm buying this for 22. Slipped, right? Okay. You can't refund that. And I'm not going to sit and make a big deal. It's my mistake. So what's the purpose of having DLCs if I don't have the game? And that's the only reason I bought 23. I didn't buy 23 because I really wanted to. That's the reason I bought 23. 2K23 WWE, okay? But what I did is like, all right, whatever, no problem. You see, who am I going to get mad at? I made the mistake. It's not the end of the world. $30 fucking didn't hurt my pockets, okay? But that was my mistake. But this right here, I'm like, cool, man. I love this game. And as you can see, I post the content because I love the game. I'm not posting just to post it, okay? But yeah, for anyone that just take the word of someone else, which is what most people do. And that's why I said when people play things like, you don't know how many countless people I talk to, like, man, I love this game, this AEW game. Like, yeah, it's mostly these really young people that have this mentality because they're so spoiled and entitled. They just think that whatever pops in their imagination, and it was that same guy, Kenny Baum. I remember him playing a mod of Hell in a Cell, whatever, and all the triple cage. And that's not something AEW did. That's something that a content creator, somebody who created a mod, did that. And him going, God, could you imagine fighting on the cage and that blood dripping off the cage? Okay, that's his imagination. AEW didn't say that was going to happen. So in other words, if we go by his logic, right, and what he said, well, that means when they give you a cage match, if you don't see blood dripping off, that's what you're going to, they gave us a cage match. But where's the blood? How come the blood's not dripping off the cage? That's what he said. It had nothing to do with the people at AEW games. And this is what I've been saying for the longest. It's like, you guys, I hear the comments, but I also look and read comments on other channels when I see and hear these people telling you this is how something's going to be. This is what it's going to be. This is what's happening. This is what they should do. This is what I want. And then you guys, it all becomes a monkey see, monkey do. Now everybody wants the same thing. It's real simple, y'all. What's going to be is going to be. And I'm here for the long haul. Like I said, you cannot perfect the game within a year's time. And until they give you, if you notice, like, when did it start? 20 or 21? Where the engine was completely different from the previous ones. And you can see it's a whole different, the characters look different, everything. So until they can do that, they're going to keep giving you the same game every single year with a few tweaks. And then, like I said, it's weird because, like, if I'm playing 22 and you're playing 23, but I have all the wrestlers that you have, right? And the thing is, to be honest with you, I don't really like the WWE roster itself. I don't really like the wrestlers that they have. Is like, I just like Gunther and all these different people. I really don't even care for these people. I find myself not even using them in the game. So I find myself more using the created wrestlers. I do that mostly. I mix it up. I like to mix it up, but I don't even really like the wrestlers that they have over there. I don't need, like, these guys are just, they don't do anything. I look at them and I'm just like, okay, Gunther, who else? And this guy Tonga. I was watching him in the indie circuits, man. Listen, you like what you like. And like I said, you don't ever hear me not one time telling people what they should or shouldn't like. All I'm telling you guys, you don't have the right to tell people that either. And that's what I'm saying when you come into someone's comment section trying to tell people, oh, this game sucks. This game is an atrocity. It's this, it's that. It's like, no, it is what it is. Because you don't like something doesn't mean that it's that it sucks. And at the end of the day, as they're building this game, trust me when I tell you, when Ultra Pro comes out, when the Wrestling Code comes out, or any other game for that matter, it's going to go through the same thing of, but you can do this, but you can't do that. Well, they should have done this. And you want to know one of the biggest complaints you guys are going to have? You know what? As long as it took them to come out with this game, they should have did this, and they should have put this, and they should have put that out. And trust me when I tell you, I don't care how careful they're trying to be. If they're being smart and open-minded, they are going to know they're not going to have the depth to their game as 2K has. Because 2K, you got to understand, they have their own shit, but they also have rights to other companies that they bought. So they different match types that they could put on the game. When you don't see them do it, like for example, what's the first wrestling game you saw where you could throw weapons? AEW Fight Forever? Huh? What's the first wrestling game you saw where you could actually have intergender matches? AEW Fight Forever, setting the table on fire, barbed wire match, all this stuff. Okay, so bottom line is when you guys are talking about, oh, but you can do this and you can do that. Okay, right. Like I said, for those who are patient and understand, there's more coming. For those of you who are like little fucking grown, like bunch of man-childs that, you know, you're like a little spoiled brat, you know, probably jumping up and down in one spot, stomping, flapping your hands in the air, crying because they don't have certain things that you want. Like, relax. I like the content that we're getting. And yes, I do want the things that I said. But guess what? And for me, just the look, they'll more than likely put things on here and surprise us with things that they didn't talk about or we didn't talk about. But in the meantime, listen, I like what we have. And yeah, I would love to have a cage match. I'm always having the exploding barbed wire matches, always. The next video, or at some point, probably maybe tonight or tomorrow, I'll probably play the game and record after I upload these videos and play and record it more so than having the computer AI matches because, just because, you know, I feel like doing it. And then two, you know, one thing, like the glitches and stuff mostly happen with computer versus computer games. Like the constant chest bumping, that's a big glitch. That's so annoying. The order that I put matches in now on an actual wrestling card, right? You save like the exploding barbed wire match to like last, so like a ladder match or falls count anywhere and stuff like that, lights out match, because those are like the more violent matches, right? And the problem as far as the exploding barbed wire match goes is that happens often where they just start running into each other, chest bumping, and it's like that glitch. It's like, oh, I hate when that happens, you know, because now if that's like in the middle, then I have to cut that video short because now I got to edit that part out. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll either make it the first match or the last match. That way, if it's first match, I can just edit, I can just delete that and go on to the next and the next. Now, if it's the last match and the same thing happens, I can just delete that. So, yeah, I mean, that's really what I do. But bottom line, it's games, y'all. It's not an actual real wrestling. It's games. It is what it is. And we put the content out, hoping that people enjoy the content. That's all. We're not trying to attract idiots that have nothing better to do with their time but complain. So, that being said, this is all I have for you, and I will catch you guys on the next one.